Welcome to the MWA podcast. I'm Kyle, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Sean, Brian, and Jeff. Today, we are pleased to welcome as our guest, Diane Deery. Diane is an art instructor at the Hill School located in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. There, she teaches woodworking and photography. Diane is an accomplished artist in her own right and is currently educating and inspiring the next generation of artists and craftspeople. So thanks so much for joining us, Diane.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here after listening and hearing your voice now sort of live in my mind. It's like,
Yeah.
This is great.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
glad to have you, man.
I'm actually balder in person.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Oh my God. And I know I'm not on camera, but I have the most hair of all of us.
Nice. Hiding it well.
We live vicariously through Sean. So
There
anyway.
it is.
Well, welcome so much. It's I think this might be the first time we've had a high school shop teacher on the show. So, you know.
Wow. I'm feeling really, that's awesome. I'm feeling really privileged.
Yeah.
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 It's a dying breed, honestly, right? Like,
Yeah, we've had a lot of college level folks that
and like
that teach at
extra
college and stuff,
education,
but
those kind
Yeah.
of things. But
yeah.
Yeah.
This
But-
is perfect.
Yeah, I'm
I get
extremely excited to find out all about, your operation there and the schooling and the curriculum and all that kind of stuff. But before we get into that, let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Sutherland Wells knows that exceptional craftsmanship deserves an exceptional finish. That's why they handcraft their full line of low and VOC exempt finishes and stains using the highest quality, cold-pressed, sustainably grown tung oil. Their unique polymerization process delivers the deep penetrating, grain-enhancing, non-yellowing protection of tung oil, while reducing the drying time, allowing the finish to build a beautiful, durable film. Sutherland Wells, the timeless look of traditional oil made for the modern woodworker, and use code MWA25, that's the numbers 25, for 10% off your first order.
And we'd like to thank Sutherland Wells for their sponsorship of this episode. And now let's give our patrons a shout out. So who do we have to thank this week?
Yep. We always like to give our big Patreon supporters a big shout out. Today, we're giving that particular message to Joe Brumley. Joe, thank you for your support. And if you, dear listener of our podcast, would like to Joe and supporting us, you can do that by going to patreon.com/MWA podcast and help us out there.
All righty. Thanks so much, Joe. So let's move on to what's in the shop. So, Sean, what you've been working on? If I don't know.
So I don't know if have I mentioned that my son bought a house?
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Yes.
Have I mentioned that it's turned into the money pit?
Oh,
Well, you're missing some studs or
No, I remember last
There was
time
supposed
you
to
be
pulled
27
the
inches or
wall.
something.
This
Yeah.
is So this is the if everyone's seen Shrek, the original Shrek, and an ogre's like an onion,
Mhm.
and you got to peel back the layers. Every time we discover a little bit more.
oof.
That was minor. That little extended porch thing that
Oh,
had
man.
like 27-inch wide studs is like, that's not okay. Okay, great. Then it was upstairs in the bedroom. We're taking off the skin of the walls, which is like old thin masonite board, like
Mhm.
quarter-inch at best. And I have a great picture of it. It's funny because the company I work for just bought masonite like 2 years ago, and like it's really interesting on another front. But then it's the knob and tube wiring in spots, not all over, but spots.
Oh, wow.
And now it's so a few weeks ago we were like, hey, what kind of paint do we want? What's the flooring going to look like? And now it's what structural repairs need to be done, and it's a completely ungrounded electrical system.
Ooh.
We're rewiring it from the front door, everything.
Yep.
So in the last weekend, we have exposed every wall that has an outlet, a switch, and the ceilings that have anything hanging from them. And some material has been purchased. And just yesterday, kind of late in the weekend, and then just yesterday, I went from work to go there to look at something and tore back a wall and confirmed that the stairwell that shares an exterior wall. Okay, so you can kind of imagine the exterior is on your left and interior wall is on the right holding up the stairs. That wall on your right that holds up a bedroom and a hallway is on a 2x2 wall that has 4 total studs and 8 feet, that has some cross bracing and such, and has boiler supplied baseboard heat at the bottom of it. So now I have to either remove or move some boiler heat to put a properly structured wall underneath what is effectively half of the upstairs.
Were there any like signs during the home inspection that that this may not be a good idea?
No, there weren't. Well, here's the reality. Take out the stairs. If there weren't stairs, the original structure, the original bones of the building were like a 17 wide by 40 foot long cottage. So side to side, unbroken, unsupported, the joist structure between the first and second floor are fine, except for the stairs. The stairs is a problem, but whatever. Had you not peeled the wall off, you never would have seen this to know, because it's skinned in a way that it kind of makes sense. Also, a bunch of exterior uninsulated. That's fine. It was built in 1917. Like, what can you do? Like, it's old. So this is an opportunity for us to do a lot of improvement. It's going to cost us a fair amount, except we're doing all the labor ourselves. My dad is a retired union electrician, and I have a history in home construction. So I'm the structural guy. My dad's the electrical guy. There's no HVAC to speak of. And so there's a little much to think about, in working on this. It's just going to take, some time and a fair amount of money, but way less money if we were contracting somebody.
Well, it sounds like your son picked the right place to move to be close to all of you.
Well, yes, of course. Funny enough, at the time, and this won't be forever, but he's in the union and he's working 2 hours away from home right now. Still living here, having bought a house within 5 miles of me, but working 2 hours away. So during the week, he's gone. So it's not like this isn't a nights and weekends thing. It's just a weekends thing right now. And so the dumpster was here last week to take out. It was a 20-yard dumpster that was most of the ceiling and wall material. And I'm doing a lot of, again, I being the guy who built houses, I got the structural stuff down. So I'm gonna brace the span. It's 2x10, 69 center, like floor joist, which is great. It bounces a little bit because it's not a braced floor. So I'm going to put blocking in to stiffen that. They don't have to do a whole lot there, but I'm inspecting every exterior wall. I found one window, and there's another one we have to take the trim off still, which I think is going to be the same case. In the early 20th century, I forget the term, but the guys that did windows, and they built windows at construction sites, right? The house is going up in 1917. They put a frame up, and then the guy that makes the windows cuts a hole in the siding planks and builds a frame on it. In modern times, when we get here, there's a vinyl window. And when we take the trim off, that exposes is that the old window frame with the weight still down in the cavities to the side of it, steel, not lead, all 4 of them, but no pulley. I love that you guys are closing your eyes and envisioning all this. But that window frame is almost precisely 1.5 inches away from either stud on either side of it. There's nothing. That window is nailed, screwed, or otherwise attached to the original siding planking, and nothing else structural.
Wow.
So nothing's carrying the load of the roof over those spaces. Nothing. There's a whole lot of wow going on. But again, had you not taken off the wall coverings, you would never have known. Yeah. And there was a tornado that came through a couple of years ago, and it didn't blow down. So it's okay, but I think the one header I measured was 105 inches over a big vinyl window on an area that used to be a porch that is just a ladder of 2x4s supporting a flat roof over that span, which is not okay.
Yeah.
Because we get snow, and on a flat roof, snow just sits there and piles up and adds weight. And eventually it will crush that.
Well, Sean, you're making my palms sweat because I'm looking at houses this weekend.
Sorry. It's making our bank account sweat. Because it's like a trip to Menards to $200 to $400 at a time. Actually, my son went this weekend to get electrical stuff, just a new box and a new breaker box and new wall boxes. and Romex. And he's like, I spent $700 today. I went, yep, you did.
Yep.
Copper's expensive. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's just a matter of,
So is your dad going to be able to help y'all with the electrical stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
He's retired. And so he expressed to me, he's like, if I could, I would sleep there and just keep working.
Nice.
That's not feasible. But yes. So but the timing with the holidays and everything's kind of going to be put on pause slightly.
Yeah.
We're going to do what we can when we can and just work with it. We're going to get a laser up. We're going to hang boxes. We're going to pull, cables where we can. We make the ultimate switch.
Well, like you said, it's not like he has to be living there by Christmas. He can
exactly. And that is the fortunate
he
thing.
can wait till sometime next year around the same.
As you're paying a mortgage, you want to live in the house.
Yeah,
right.
That's
and
true.
so that's already started. Payment 1 has already gone out. So there's that ticking time bomb in a way.
Right.
But the benefit at the same time is if you can envision having your parents' house and we love you very much and you can still sleep here.
That's right.
And so that still exists, and so there's no real rush to go into it, and it's become a hell of a project, but it'll be so much better by the time we're done, and we're glad we found everything we did.
Yeah.
So it's a thing. This will not be the end. I'll talk about it again with more information the next time. So we shall see. But it's a fun time. It was actually great to get my tool pouch back out.
Yep.
I can't find my tri-square, which kind of ticks me off because that's something I need, like when I'm cutting 2x4s. But it's like some of my tools are over there now. Circular saw, sawzall, 2 of my hammers, a couple of my pry bars, and so it's a mix of new lumber, new insulation, and moving walls and tearing down structures and putting them back in, and then electrical. It's gonna be fun. Yeah. So that's what I'm working on. In other news, anybody heard of anything about a new coach? Anybody have any coaching experience?
Oh, what a mess.
Brian, you messaged me, buddy. And,
yeah. I was thinking about you when I heard it.
I mean,
I've been listening to Rich Eisen talk about it. Yeah.
It's hey, Michigan's going to find a great coach.
Yeah.
By the time this comes out, they might have a good coach. So we'll find out. Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I heard Kiffin, he'll take the money.
Yeah, right. Right. Is that the big buzz down south? I mean, that guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. He called himself a hoe. Like that's amazing. Like and LSU is paying not only Brian Kelly to leave, but him to come in. It's a mess.
Yeah,
mess.
Yeah, one of my friends is a big LSU, like you or Michigan. He's the same way for LSU, and he goes, "Yeah, I absolutely hate Kiffin right now. But if he wins his championship, I never said that."
Yeah, but he's costing a lot of people a fair amount of money. Yeah. So that's very interesting. Anyway, Jeff, you finally found us. What's up with you, man?
Yep. Just a little bit of traveling. I got back from Alaska. Got in for a couple days. Copper had a band recital, so that was pretty awesome. He enjoyed that quite a bit. He did real good with that. He moved up in a chair. He made first chair. So
nice.
Yeah. So he was real.
What does he play?
Trombone.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I always kind of egg him on to practice, because I just love hearing that thing go off. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
And my wife's always.
Does he do jazz band at all?
No, but he wants to do marching band. So he's that's his. I said, "Oh, cool! You look like one of the little Nutcracker guys, He's going down there." So he's doing real well with that. And then today I just flew out to Vegas. Be here for a couple of days. This is actually supposed to be a family vacation. Went scheduled a wood turning class. It's the oval turning, Chuck.
Yeah, I remember you telling us about that.
Yeah. So here for a couple of days. It just cover his the way school they did certain testing for the state testing, whatever. So my wife didn't want to pull them out. And I'm like, well, okay, I'm still going.
Okay.
But which is kind of a bummer because I was really looking forward to having them with me.
So are you in Vegas proper or on the outs?
Yeah, no, I'm in Vegas proper.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
What
So
hotel?
you staying at the casino or not?
No, it's a Wyndham. So
Okay.
Oh, nice.
yeah.
Nice.
So I got this huge room. It's a 2 rooms all by myself. It's just like, this
Mhm.
ain't right. It's too
Just
quiet.
terrible Wi-Fi.
Yeah, just terrible Wi-Fi. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I had to
Yeah.
come down, get in a car.
Yeah.
jump
For our
the
listeners, Jeff is sitting in his car.
car.
Hey, it
At
works.
least it's Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be cold, you know.
That's
It's
right.
nice out. It was super nice today. Very nice.
Cool. Cool. Well, Brian, what about yourself?
Just a couple minor things. I kind of went up in the office. I'm like, okay, what's the next step? Because we're reached the point where I have to put these bookcases in a certain order. Otherwise, I'm going to kind of pretty much screw myself trying to fit something beyond, out of sequence. So I came up with a plan to make the top bookcase that'll span the back wall. So I started to rip down some plywood for that. I probably should get a plywood blade for my table saw. It's getting more chipping than I remember.
Yeah. I have one. They're pretty nice. But even then, if it's a cut that I want pristine, I still put a piece of blue tape over the cut line.
Yeah, I thought about it, because it makes
Yeah.
a difference what side you have up and everything. So my plan is to get that stuff settled, and after Christmas, actually probably even next week before Christmas, trying to get that assembled. I had to take a big certification exam for work today, and as I logged in to take it, they canceled it. So I got to take that next week.
Oh no.
A little upset with that. So
Yeah, I crammed all last night, and then they canceled it.
yeah. I guess things come up, whatever. But and I'm starting to liquidate some tools that I don't use. I sold anybody who's been in my shop knows that I like old 1940s iron. So I have an Atlas lathe from the 40s. I have a Delta drill press that was given me as a present from an old boss from out of a Navy shop from the 40s that I have to restore still. But I had a Walker Turner scroll saw that was restored by a gentleman next county over. I rewired it, put a new motor on it, new belts, everything, but I just couldn't get the blade to line up to be coplanar. So it was just the left and right, it was fine. So I guess plumb would be fine, but front to back, it wanted to kind of oscillate and just 8 blades. And those blades from that time frame, they're not like modern blades. They have no wings on them, so they're just straight. So I guess you could take a modern blade and file the wings off. But so I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, I found a huge gross of those things. So I bought those. I'm like, you know what? This needs to go to somebody who has the time to deal with it. So finally found somebody that looked like they knew what they were doing. Sold it dirt cheap to that gentleman. He came up and picked it up. He was over the moon to find it. I think he kind of wanted it for the motor personally, but so he says he's going to try and get this working. And then so if you're in the southeast portion of Pennsylvania, you're looking for like a standing sander. It's got like a belt sander and a disc sander combo, like large. Let me know, because it's taking up more space than I need.
What brand is it?
Jet, maybe.
Oh, okay.
What color is it?
It's a modern jet or
It's semi-modern. I bought it used from a Beal Rios out of New Jersey, and I've got stacks of belts for it, both metal and woodworking belts.
Oh, wow.
So it's a spindle turner, and then it's
a belt. It's a belt, and then a big
a vertical belt and a disc on the side.
Disc on the side, like a 16-inch disc. And it's 120, but it's got some beef to it.
16-inch disc. Wow.
Maybe 12. Maybe it's 12, but
Okay.
it's sizable.
I'm just debating whether it's worth a road trip. Okay.
That's a long road trip.
I actually might take it off of you.
Yeah, there you go. There's room in that shop.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's tax deductible donation there.
That's right.
Exactly.
We were discussing the new Harvey Pro dust collector, and I was thinking, oh man, I need my dust collectors. I think it's a horse and a half, 120 volt, Powermatic. It works fine, but it could use some more beef to it. So I was debating if I wanted to get rid of the dust collector as well and get something with a little more moxie to it. So,
well, you're going to get the new one, or are you going to get the?
I would get the new
previous
one.
version?
I would get the new one.
Yeah, I would too. I would too.
Floor space
Okay.
is more of a concern. So.
Yeah. Well, good. We'll have a guinea pig to.
Yeah, for sure.
Just
Yeah.
go ahead, Jeff.
Those dust collectors I'm really impressed with. the those wall mounted units, those record power ones. They had it. They have them in Highland at their school, that little shop they have upstairs, and I think that's just the way to go. Just having a bunch of small little units, like 4 or 5 dust collector, because I have an Oneida and it does a good job, but I also have all the duct work and I'm always moving something, then I'm jacking around with it. And I just kind of feel like the small wall mount, and then just hook a little radio button to it, or whatever Wi-Fi
So more
something,
dedicated per machine kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
get like 5 of them. I mean, it would be, and they don't really, these last a long time. And they got a lot of suction. Those are record power. They got like 3 vacuums on that little canister. I'm just really impressed with it. I was just like, when I first saw them, I was like, whatever, this is probably junk, But then and it worked so good. I was like, man, this is. I'm gonna work out a deal on this somehow.
So are they good for like joiner planer collection?
Yeah,
Got
they
the
do
big chips?
joiner, planer. I mean, it's like the only drawback is I think they're a little noisier.
Yeah.
But I was like, well,
But here
going.
again, you're dealing with space there, Brian. So you might not have the setup to do.
Well, I've got wall space.
You do?
Like I've got, especially up high. If you get above,
I've seen those record ones, but it's been a while since I checked them out. But yeah, because you said Highland sells them. I know.
Yeah, Highland carries them.
Because I know Vic Teslin was talking about them back probably a couple of years ago.
That might be a way to go. I mean, my tools are kind of grouped into pods, so to speak. And right now I have, the big corrugated, 15-foot long things that go to each thing with some gates and stuff. So it may not be a bad idea to kind of price it out, consider if on spot, maybe. I don't know what that dust collection strategy would be, but something I need to consider. Thanks for the recommendation, Jeff.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I think any way you go, it doesn't, it never pans out right.
Yeah. I would love to dig up my floor and put outlets.
Oh,
floor, but I want to stay married too, so I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Well, no, you just need to build one of those. You just need to build something on top of your floor, like
floating floor.
Floating floor. Yeah.
If I had the more ceiling height, I actually thought about that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've thought about doing that to my shop, but since mine occasionally floods, probably not a wise idea.
Well, no, you could do it like a big raft. All the tools would go up in the water and just come back down.
I've actually toyed in my mind while I'm going to sleep about getting like a car lift put in my garage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and then I can just move everything on the car lift and lift it up.
I think it's a great idea.
Dream big, man. You could do it.
So Kyle, how about you? What's going on in your shop?
Well, besides having outlandish ideas like that, not much. Making jigs, but I am playing around with these air dusters. I don't know if you've seen these little bitty rechargeable battery air dusters, because I'm always using my compressor to blow stuff off. In fact, that's probably 98% of the job duties that my compressor does is just to blow stuff off, because I'm always sanding my jig parts and all that stuff, always blowing stuff off. And I got one of those California Air ones, so it's not loud, but it's just a pain in the butt. Things always kicking on and off. And I thought, and I saw some reviews with these little air dusters, and they have one that's called Wolf Box, and they make 3 different versions. And I went, well, the one, are y'all familiar with that YouTube channel Project Farm?
No.
Okay, this guy, you should check it out, because this guy just reviews all kinds of stuff, mainly, shop related stuff, but I mean, just all kinds of stuff. So if I'm going to buy something, whether it's for the house or something like that, I go, let me see if he did a review. Now, he does exhaustive reviews and does all these things, and he buys all the equipment himself, so he's not beholden to anybody. But you can actually skip, because the reviews are like 30 minutes long, but you can skip all the way to the last 5 minutes and tell you which one's the best about it. But anyway, he reviewed the Wolf Box, but he reviewed the one that's that's more expensive. It's like $100 for that one, and he really liked it. So I got the cheap one. I tried it. I didn't like it. I think the cheaper one is like $50 and I got it on sale for like 35 or something like that. So I'm going to return that. But I think Milwaukee just came out with one that fits the Milwaukee battery system. And it's more like, it looks about as big as a drill, maybe even a little bit bigger. So I think I'm going to buy that one instead, because the next, like I said, the next group up from this Wolfbox one that got the highest ratings in his little video was that was $100, and I think the Milwaukee right now is like 179, but it just came out. I'm thinking, hey, wait 6 months, it'll be on sale. Maybe I can pick it up for like 150 or something like that. So I might just go that way, and that way, you know, I got batteries for it and all that kind of stuff. So because it's in the M18, but apparently, according to some reviews I've seen, it's supposed to be the best one out there. I think Makita also makes one. Ryobi has one. But the Milwaukee seems to be the best at all of them. So, and that's a whole different level of air dusters than, you know, these are more like air blowers, not dusters that this guy was reviewing. So anyway, having fun with that. But, you know, I just don't, you know, I'd like to be able to just pick something up and do it instead of kicking that compressor on and off all the time. You know, and
I did, Kyle. I did pick one up off of Amazon for like $45. It's a rechargeable battery, and it blows really well. Like I'll use that, you know, because when I'm at the lathe, I'll just have so much, you know, shaving. Like you can tell where I went in the house. Basically, you know, and it is not appreciated by anybody. So I'll try to, like, you know, just try to make the trips inside the house minimals, but. I got that one. It was like $45, whatever, and it was just like it cut down by like 80%, 90% of the chips. Just like blowing my hair out, my vest, shoes, you know. It does a good job.
Yeah, this one, like I said, this one was okay, but it just wasn't, you know, I'd still rather just use my compressor. So I don't know. And might be nothing can, you know, touch what a actual air compressor can do, but we'll see. Anyway,
good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Anyway, that's what I'm, you know, I'll go down this road 6 months. I'll report back. We'll see where we are. Anyway, with that, Diane, where are you working on in your shop? Studio?
I know. I think, you know, with the holiday season, it seems like all of a sudden, like fast and furious. So I'll be making little projects. But the one thing that is kind of started, and I'm excited to get back into it. My son just graduated college this past summer, and then he went on a long road trip and took my, I think you guys were talking about someone has a car that they just sold, but mine was a 2010 Toyota Sienna, gave it to him to drive cross country, and he was at a beach in Washington State and brought me back a huge piece of driftwood. He actually brought me back 2 huge pieces and then some other stuff. And so I know you're not to, you know, leave no trace when you're out in nature, but sometimes you just can't help yourself. And so
driftwood is driftwood. It floated there from somewhere else.
Thank you.
Yeah, it would have drifted around. Yeah. Who knows where it'd be in 5 years? Yeah.
I love it. I love driftwood. So he brought it back. I love the fact that he saw these pieces and thought of me. So I thought, and to drive it back cross country, it was even cooler. So I started to make something with it. And yeah, because the other part of my art is working with fabric and fibers and painting on silk or gauze or whatever. So I love making these huge sculptures with the pieces of wood. So I'm looking forward to getting back into that.
Nice. Well, so Diane, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up and how you got into art and now woodworking, so to speak.
I know. Yeah, it's been a great journey. I mean, I think as an educator, you always find yourself like learning. And I think that that's my attitude towards everything. But I will say, if I have to look back on where it all really started from, I have to give thanks to my father. He owned a construction business. And so I grew up on 2 acres of land where there was the bulldozer that was like my play equipment, and anything in the house that needed to be built, he was building. And later in life, he ended up building his own house in upstate New York. So I don't know, I remember making lofts with him, a loft in my bedroom, like just so always doing something with our hands was like our thing to do. So, and then honestly, like thankfully I'm 54 years old. So middle school and high school, I still had shop class. I still had home economics. Even in college, you had to take a woodworking workshop. And I remember still building that out of balsa wood, those things that had to support your weight. So there's all sorts of things. So it's like, okay. But every now and then I come back to like building things with my hands. I did out of college, I was a graphic designer for 15 years, but I was always teaching. I was coaching gymnastics for 15 years, and then I had my 2 kids and realized that I loved teaching and I wanted to have the same schedule as they did. So I went back to school, got my art certification, and started teaching middle school and high school at that point. And then 15 years ago, came here to the Hill School. It's a boarding school, so family moved onto campus with me. It's a great place to be. And I then went back to get my master's 2016, 2018 at PAFA, and went back into the wood shop there. And that's where it all started again. And then there became this opening of teaching woodworking at Hill. And I said, definitely, I always wanted to do it. So at the time, the school was going through some changes. So the woodworking workshop moved to a different part of the school. It was a smaller space, but I did what I could with it. And I will say that was 5 years ago. And it's become such a popular class that they moved me back into the original place where woodworking started. And I couldn't be more excited and more proud of how the Hill School loves what the woodworking workshop has done. We have such a huge following with the alumni and the students that are taking the course. And so, yeah, that's kind of where it all started. So I teach 9th to 12th grade, and we actually have PGs, postgraduates that come. So in this classroom, I can have 14-year-olds to 19-year-olds, which is a pretty big difference.
Wow.
But I love that because it's so great to see how they all interact with one another and help each other. I will say that this year I teach 3 sections of woodworking, and I keep it to a max of 8 students just for safety reasons, obviously. Want to make sure that that's priority number 1. And then I still teach 1 section of AP photography. But my woodworking sections this year, I always look to see like what the mix of is in gender and age and everything. And the Hill does a great job to mix that up for me. But there was 1 section where I had 1 female student that was coming in, and I just knew when she came in, just looking around at all the guys, and I was like, she's gonna drop. I was like, don't do it. And yes, and we had an honest conversation about it, and she decided to stay and she did, and I don't blame her. When you're in a space where there's a lot of a different gender than your own, it just feels different. And she's like, I just feel weird. I'm the only girl. And I was just like, look at me. I'm like, what do you know? So I love the fact that I'm 5'2", so some of these students that I have are just so much taller and bigger than I am, and it cracks me up, I think, when they come in the first day and realize who the teacher is, which I sort of love that sort of element of surprise. But it's so great. I love doing it. It's favorite part of my day is just being here and teaching these kids. So
it's so cool.
That is very cool. So what about your younger students? So your 9th graders that are coming in, the 14-year-olds and so forth. What types of projects can they work on? Hey, you can only do hand tools, or they do a little power tools, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so I start everybody the same, so it doesn't matter. And I do have a level 2 woodworking. So I even have them mixed into my level 1s because I think it's great that they can sort of be that teacher as well. But they all start with carving a spoon. I think that is like one of the best projects. Because it
teaches them grain direction and everything in one simple project.
Exactly.
Not that dangerous. You might
That's
cut
great.
yourself, but that's about it.
I'm equivalently a 14-year-old. Great, because I've never carved a spoon. Perfect.
Oh, wow.
There's hope for you, Sean.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Even my level 2s, when they come back for a second year, they still have to carve a spoon. They get to use harder wood though. The
Oh, sure.
level 1s are still using the basswood. So and they have a blank. I'm not gonna lie. Like I really they already have something sort of shaped up, but they're really thick, honestly. So they're big and chunky. But I love it because we talk about that spoon and our students. I will say this, our students are from all over the world. So I'm very mindful of the projects that we make because I want them to be so proud of it that they want to take it home. So it has to go into a suitcase, get on a plane, all that stuff. But I think the spoon for me is like one of those things where I always hope for them that after they're done making it, it literally travels with them for wherever they go in the world. And cooking to me is something like the spoon I've carved whenever I'm cooking. That's the spoon that I use to stir or whatever. And that project, I don't think they get how long it's going to take to finish. And it is just because it's all hand tools in the beginning, chisels. And you're right, that this is the one project where I get the most use of Band-Aids out. Sometimes, and they're really good.
Here's your spoon blank. Here's your knives. Here's your box of Band-Aids.
But I teach them from the very beginning that even though I'm the teacher in the room, they're the eyes and ears in the room. And it's also their responsibility to help each other out. If they see someone doing something that they know is just going to lead to a mistake, they have every right to do that. And we honestly practice like talking to each other and explaining what's happening. So yeah, hand tools are the first project. That's the one thing that they do. And it is so funny when they get to the sanding, like what's going to happen. They're so excited to be done, but then they realize there's still more steps to the very end of it, which is great. At the same time, while they're fine tuning and like kind of focusing in on the spoon, I will take students over. We have a lathe, so they'll start with making pens. So I have 2 of those, and they'll start with that. And I think that's when I'll never forget this. I think it was last year. I had a student. I've never seen this happen before. He was finished his pen. He was ready. He was putting the finish on it, the shellac on it. And he literally, when he turned off the machine to look at it, he jumped back in joy. Oh, just how beautiful the grain was, like everything about it. And I was so excited to be there to witness that because I've never seen a student like literally jump for joy. And I was just like,
that's awesome.
It was wild. I love it. Yeah, they're so proud of their pens when they're walking around school. They're like, can we please? Because the deal is they have to really keep everything for our art show at the end of the year, but the pens I let them take with them. So it's pretty, and I'll never forget this one student. After everybody makes one, they're allowed to make a second. So I have one student who made 3. He literally had like a pocket protector because the students wear the blazer and the Oxford and the pockets. So he proudly displays his pens that he's made.
That's cool. Years ago, my kids were under 9 years old, and I took them to a wood show, and I got them to turn pens.
Oh yeah.
They're very simple pens, and they just burn some lines in them to signify. And we wanted to, and we couldn't find it. I think we found it, but the ink was dry, and so we didn't have a refill for it. But when he was signing the papers for his house, he wanted to use it.
Oh yeah.
Like one of those things, like, yes, this is mine. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, like they can carry that along and really, say like, I did this.
Yeah.
And it's a part of what I learned and what I know, and that's really, really cool.
Yeah, I do. I actually, a student just today, we just left for winter break, and it was after school, and I knew he was coming down because he wanted to finish putting it together to take home, and he was just like, I can get ink refills for this, right?
Yep. I want to keep using this, right?
Lives on. Yeah.
Like, don't worry. I was like, you should save it for signing important documents, but it was like, no, I'm not gonna see it all day. So
All his homework.
yeah, that's the part that I really love. The other thing is they make charcuterie boards. They're not just cutting boards, they're charcuterie boards. Because again, that's something that they can throw into their suitcase. They can take that home. And I love the fact that I know that's going to get use. You know, anything usually made for the kitchen is like one thing. I had 2 students today. They're my advanced class, so they got to use resin on their charcuterie board, a second one, and they had some really nice wood that they could choose from. And I wish I was there when they were going to give these gifts to their parents. You know, it's like those proud moments. It's just like they're not going to believe you made this, and it's like so great to see that and how proud they are of themselves.
Yeah, it is cool. You were kind enough to send us a link, and we'll include this in the show notes for our listeners of some of the projects your students have made, and they are just outstanding stuff. It's really neat, and there's one of the things, these balancing shelves. It looks like you got molten materials in there, some rocks, and you know, some all kinds of stuff in there. How big are those?
They're honestly, I would say about 18 inches.
Okay.
So again, I feel like one of those things are, and I put, and I wish his name's Oliver. I can't think of, I'm, you know, definitely stealing ideas off of people. So this was not something I came up with. So I gave him props on one of the links to one of those images that are there in the site. And it's just, I love the idea too, because that piece, it has no hardware, right? It's like mortise and tenon joint kind of together. And they're learning how to use like a contouring gauge kind of marking to figure out how to get the shape of the rock to fit through, to balance it on one side. And it's something that they can easily take apart and then obviously take home with them. But the one thing is the students had a choice between, because the first part of that project, I took a class at Penland, and it was carving cottonwood bark, which I don't know if anyone's ever done, but it is the most, it is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I mean, if you love wood grain, it's not green, it's bark. So the lines and the things, and it's very lightweight. So I had them literally use, find a rock, right? It became like their pet rock, that they had to carve out of the cottonwood bark what that rock looked like. So it was nice and light, and it's easy. And again, it just got them more into chiseling and understanding how to look at something and 3-dimensionally and try to figure out how to make it. So they really got into that one as well. And then they could add some, we do have a glow forge here, and they also do pyrography. So they had choices of whether or not they wanted to add something to the top of their shelf as well. So to really make it kind of their own, which is neat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's some cool stuff. Yeah, when I first saw that, I didn't see that was a balancing shelf. I go, is that like a bench or something? You know? Look that big. Yeah, it's going. I'm going, wow.
Actually, the artist who's the idea where that came from, he does these huge coffee tables with huge boulders, and it's just like, okay, we're not going that far.
And then I saw one of your students did some lightsabers. So that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, they get to springtime. If they're with me all 3 terms, spring turns into some independent projects. So as long as we talk about it ahead of time, and that particular student had been on that machine, and they go from pens to spindles to bowls, and so somewhere in between all that, then they can do some independent work. So he made some sabers. Like, why not make what you love, right?
Exactly. That is cool. So when do they get to use power tools? What kind of power tools do you have there in the shop?
So now that I'm back into the bigger space, we definitely have more tools, and they will make they'll do bandsaw boxes. That's one of the things that they'll make. So this year I actually got a second bandsaw because I was tired of switching the blades.
Right.
Yep.
I'm like, can I just please have a smaller one with a
Yeah.
smaller?
That's why you have like 50 routers, because you just got one
That's right.
bit in each
One
router.
bit, lock it in.
Yeah, you don't want to change exactly. So I'm happy to say that I have two bandsaws. I have a joiner, a planer. I have a chop saw, I have a table saw, the saw stop. Drill press was our newest thing too that I got this year, which, man, they also make bud bases, which is a great introduction to learning how to draw something to scale and then actually making it into something. So that's a wonderful way to get them to understand kind of what they're looking at. And they have 3 different size little glass test tubes to use for the bud base. So it's understanding like how much wood do you need on either side, what's the thickness, and then using the drill press or like the Portioner bit to like actually drill into this big piece of wood before even cutting out the shape to make things a lot easier. It's understanding steps and how to get there. So that's another project. They actually really enjoy that because there's a lot of freedom in the design of that. And then I think am I forgetting anything? Oh, well, scroll saw, spindle sander, all that sort of fun stuff. And that's it for the power. I don't think I'm missing anything. Oh, I do need it, now that I'm in this bigger space, I just have a handheld router. Now I want I want a big
router table.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you gonna build it or?
Yeah. I don't want to.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
You put it in the assembly table there.
Yeah, my summer I spent because I just had an extension put on the table. So I was like, oh, now I need to build myself a bunch of sleds. So that's what I just got done doing. Yeah. It takes time away from projects when you have to do those things.
Very true.
Actually, though, you know what? The newest thing that I just did with the students this year, took a class at Peters Valley on steam bending, and that's exactly, I made a box as soon as I got back to Hill. So I'm excited to introduce that this spring. We already did hot pipe bending, which was great. Yeah. They really enjoyed that. But I'm looking forward to bringing some bigger pieces in. So we'll see what that does.
We'll get them making chairs before too long if you hang around that too long.
Tools.
That's I think now that I have the space, I do think about what are these bigger projects. We did benches for the school a couple years back. So I am looking for that next project. So yes, chairs might be it.
Yeah, that Chris Horst staked chair would probably be something that would be pretty easy for you to teach and do and stuff like that, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, Windsor might be a little too much. But yeah, one of his stake chairs, which is, you know, it's pretty.
I mean, it's
pretty easily done, I think.
Right? I mean, the contours are in the seat, but everything else is kind of straight, right?
Yeah,
well, you can even make it without a settled seat. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
You can make it with a flat seat. Yeah.
Sure.
Today we just ended on, I give them a history of Hill's woodworking, and we start in our dining hall. And one of the things we look at are the chairs, because some of the chairs in that space are they're the older ones, and you can tell just by looking at the shape and everything about it. And I have to be honest, like, you know, we weren't making things today, but I asked them to do reflection questions after each project. And so today was spent on the history of the Hill's woodworking, plus the things that are on our campus. And I love the responses that they gave me. I mean, the appreciation that they have now for this space, and the things that we tend to just walk past and not think about. They had that aha moment today, and in terms of that being a part of such a legacy. I know we're one of the oldest secondary schools for woodworking, so they're taking it much more seriously than they knew they had, which was great, and I appreciated showing them the spaces. And
now, has Hill always had a woodworking program, or is it something that was there, went away, and came back?
No, the article we read about today, I asked them to skim it and we were looking at the year. So in 1966, it became accredited course.
Okay.
It was at Hill before then. It just wasn't part of the standard curriculum. It was like a wood shop that was basically open 7 days a week, and kids could come in. So at one point, when this building that I'm in now was being renovated, it did take a pause, but we've continued it since then. So, so what is that? So we're at 60 some years.
Right around 60 years.
Right.
That's really cool.
It is. It's great to see and to be a part of. Like, I'm thrilled to be part of this legacy. So it's great.
Now, do you know much about what's happening in the public schools? Is woodworking courses being taught? I've heard rumor that some public schools are bringing it back and stuff like that.
Well, gosh, I hope so. And I'm surprised because I do ask the students when they're coming in, obviously, if they have any experience. And I'm surprised how many say they had something in middle school, which I was like, wow, that's wonderful. So, I think, I don't know, I think each school district is different. And I just think we're lucky and that we're continuing it, and that we have 3 sections of full students that want to be a part of it. I guess I should add that the art requirement is for a student entering the Hill schools that you take at least 3 terms of any art. So they could take woodworking for just 1 term and then go on to other things. And most of the students that I have are here for the full year. So it's also great to see. I mean, I love it. Yeah, I think it's wonderful.
Does that mix the art thing? Does it mix between music and wood shop and everything else? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and photography. I mean, that's really cool. I mean, my kids had the music thing, but they didn't have a wood shop to do. One of them went into the engineering side, and one of them went into finance and forensics. So I mean, there were opportunities, but not that. I mean, and it's what we've heard for years is that, the wood shops are dying. Like it's sad as can be. I've never got to experience them, but it's fantastic to know that there are some. And you're driving one.
I'm driving one. I think that what the students appreciate, I know what they appreciated the most is, like, first of all, their phones aren't in their hands. The computers they're not behind the computer. They're really doing stuff with their hands. And I just think that they're like fully engaged in the process, which is wonderful to see. And that, they're really, the problem solving that's happening constantly is really great to see. And then I love the fact that the way they help support each other. And I always tell them that if you can teach someone how to do it, you're mastering it at that point. Yeah. So I love, and then they know, because I will put someone in charge of of telling or showing them certain steps along the way. And it's great to see how proud they get from those moments as well.
That's super cool.
I've just heard that, a lot of school districts are starting to bring back some of the vocational programs that they kind of scrapped and paused in the past. Because when I went to school, in middle school, we had woodworking, and I think they had metalworking too. Yep. But when you went to high school, then it was like, if you wanted to continue doing woodworking or metalworking or something like that, then you had to go into the vocational program.
Right. Yeah.
Which meant you were like half a day on campus and then half a day at the vocational building, which was like, I don't know, 15 minutes away from the main school and stuff like that. Right. So you basically had to have a car if you were in that program, or at least someone to get you there. So that was kind of interesting. And then they, by the mid to late 90s, I think they did away with that. But now I heard they brought it back. I don't know in what how big a deal is it? Is it still in a totally vocational program, or is it just more like what you're doing there at the Hill? So I need to go back and see, but that's just what I heard from my stuff. And then I've also heard other people. In fact, we were at Fine Woodworking Live, and we had a gentleman there that I talked to for a long time, and he was actually a high school shop teacher at a public school and stuff like that, because he was going through at that point in time, he was going through drill presses. Oh, we're going to buy this new Powermatic drill press. I go, have you seen the Nova one?
Yeah.
Trying to upsell them.
Yeah. No, and then like 3 months later,
still,
reached out to me. We got the Nova.
yeah, there you go. I mean, in pockets, I hope they still exist. I mean, every market's going to be different, every school district's different, but but the satisfaction for a teenager in high school to have that thing that's not like existential, it's not math, it's not this, it's working with something physical, and you can look back at the end of the day and see what you did.
Yeah.
That is so rewarding.
Right.
And so cool for something, you know, like young ones like that. That's so neat.
Yeah, and I think, you know, they're afraid sometimes, like they know if they mess up, like that doesn't affect their grade, right? So they're always like, oh my gosh, I have to know exactly what to do, exactly what to, you know, I wish I didn't have to grade, because that's incredibly difficult, because I think effort is one of the biggest things that I look for. It doesn't matter what one person has done and another person has done, but it's just sort of like, how did they get there? And I don't care if they had to do it 3 times over. That's just as important. So I think they relax when they know if something has broken or like it's not doing exactly what they thought it was going to do, that they
it's the master isn't somebody who doesn't ever make mistakes. They've learned how to repair the mistakes they make, and hopefully you don't repeat major mistakes, but like it's making those things. I mean, there's some inevitables. You're working with other materials that are kind of out of your control in some degree, that you just need to know how to attack them and then how to repair them if something goes wrong.
Yeah, and just to be flexible.
And absolutely flexible.
Right. And lead yourself to like something you didn't even think could happen, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's better than I thought now. You know, like, so those are the moments that are great to see.
An unintended design opportunity.
There it is.
Yes, exactly.
So I had the chance. Diane gave me a tour of the shop, and it's beautiful. I think it's probably twice the size of my high school shop. Which has got a lot of floor space. I'm like, you know, for those students that work in there all 3 terms, I'm like, how about a canoe? You know?
Oh, a strip canoe?
Are you volunteering to come down there and teach them?
I'll probably be the guy that sands it forever.
Sure.
But there's a pond on the campus there that they can just float that sucker at the end of the term there and make a couple paddles, you know, or you know.
I know everybody's talking about it because they just saw pictures of previous projects, and that was one of them.
Oh, it was? Okay, so it's been done.
Yeah.
I'm looking behind you. You can hang it from the ceiling back there, you know.
Yeah, I know. You know, I would do it in a heartbeat, but I also want to make sure they're building stuff for themselves too. So, because they know most of them aren't staying here on campus and won't get to be a part of the, to be floating in the Dell using it. But I'm all for it.
So cool.
That sounds like now. So, what types of techniques and stuff do you teach, and what's your favorite one to teach? You mentioned mortise and tenon. Do you do a whole joinery type thing and go through the dovetails and mortise and tenons and log joints, butt joints, and all that kind of stuff?
Yes and no. That's some of the harder joinery like dovetail and stuff like that. I'll wait till they're level 2. In the beginning, the level 1s honestly are just learning even how to use a Japanese pull saw to cut a straight line. Like, first of all, just to mark the piece of wood, and then learning how to just hold the saw properly and then actually use it, and understanding that they need lines on either side and they have to keep looking because you don't want to go past the line. So that's more challenging than they think it's going to be. And so I give them one piece of wood and they have like 6 different lines. And I was just like, okay, you just need 2 perfect. And sometimes they're asking for another piece of wood because they're just not getting it. But I think.
Now, do you teach them with 2 hands on the saw?
I don't.
Try that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Wilbur Pan, our ambassador for Japanese
Yeah, true.
tools. Well, he teaches all about Japanese tools, and he'll get people up there and draw lines like you were talking about, and say, saw that line, they'll saw it, and saw it, and they'll always go off, and he goes, now put 2 hands on the saw and try it again.
Oh, okay.
And they go straight down.
You're pulling it to your belly button at that point, like you're just straight down the middle. So it's an eye thing. Then.
Yeah.
It's how you're.
Well, he says it compensates, because if you're just doing one hand, if you're right-handed, you're going to go off to the left, and if you're left-handed, you're going to go off to the right. But if you got both hands on there, it kind of.
Yeah, I can see it. I'll give it a try.
All right.
Yeah. I had someone.
And don't worry, we'll cut that part from the.
I don't mind admitting what I don't know. So, again, I'm like going back to I'm constantly I'm a student just like everybody else.
Yeah,
there you go.
Keep learning. I think someone told me when they looked at the project that my students are making, they were really impressed of all the different types of things. Like, it's not just shelves and cabinets and sort of, so they're really getting a sense of a lot of different aspects of woodworking, which I hadn't realized before, just with the different tools that we have. So I appreciate that they're getting experience or a little exposure on a whole bunch of different types of things that can be made in woodworking. Honestly, down to, again, moving into this new space, because they wear blazers, the first thing I had them make, we put a board out in the hallway that just had hooks on it. So talking about the design of that, learning how to use a hand drill, like so many things are sent to us like from Amazon that these kids have to build later in life, and that their parents are really excited that all of a sudden their kid knows how to use a hand drill. I'm like, okay, that's great. And they're super proud of like the thing that they make, they use every day. So that's pretty.
That's
makes me happy.
Well, so y'all do have school uniforms there. So do they have like I guess they got aprons and stuff that they wear once they get in there?
Yep.
Yeah. And you got a compressor to blow them off at the end. No.
You can use a little air duster.
No, yeah, you know what? I wasn't gonna say anything, but I bought one of those like last year.
Yeah.
And of course, whenever I buy something, the students are all sort of like, "Oh, new toy or new tool," and so of course they're like having fun with it, because it's great from getting the dust or certain things. But sometimes I'm like, it's just. They think they can use it right away to like blow everything. I'm like, oh my gosh, you just put so much dust in the air. Like, you have to really explain things to them.
Exactly. Well, cool. Well, so tell us about some of your projects, your personal projects in art. Seen a lot of it. You do a lot of mixed media type stuff, it looked like.
Yes. Yeah. So I actually, I feel like sometimes when there's an opportunity, it leads to a different type of art. This past summer and fall, a farm near where I live, it's called the Warwick Furnace Farm, and a tree came down on their property. And I'm probably going to have the numbers wrong right now, but I want to say it was like a 250-year-old oak that went down. So they put a call out to artists, like to, if they wanted to take some of it to make something, please do. And then they had a show this past fall of what the artist made. So that gave me the opportunity to make a couple of different pieces. So I turned sort of took big branches. I want to say they were probably like the diameter of maybe like 68 inches. And then I turned 2 of them. One, I kept the exposed bark on parts of it, but then I also kind of torched it and used some different things. And so it was for a dry bud vase or a dry flower kind of vase. And then another one I did on that. And then I made I sliced one of the branches, and that became the base. And with one of the branches, I made, I'm into making mobiles or kinetic art. And so that uses my silk that I've made, and they're the turning of like the leaves that are the mobile.
Oh, wait, stop right there. So silk that you've made?
Silk that silk I didn't make. I hand dyed.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank
I didn't know if you had
I
little
wish I could,
little
A
silk
loom.
worms
worms.
Silk worm. Yeah.
They're in the back. I hand dyed the silk, and then I would cut them into what shapes of leaves. And so that I was making the mobiles from that. And then the base was the wood and the branches that were holding the mobile. So those are sort of some of the things I think I'm really interested in lighting design, and some of the pieces that I made this summer from the steam bending workshop. They're like, I don't know, 5 feet long. And I have like 5 pieces that I did some free-forming bending, and that's just waiting to become a sculpture that I want to start soon. But I love making anything that just is, I'm thankful that I get to make things that I want to make.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not,
sure.
I know I love and appreciate everything I'm hearing, and people have all these jobs for commissions and people need these things. But for Nate right now, I get to make what I want to make. And then if they go into a show and people want to buy it, then that's great too. So
Nice. Well, you do beautiful work. Some
you.
outstanding stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was looking at your website. Absolutely
Thanks.
cool. Like
Thank
beautiful
you.
stuff.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
That is nice. And a fan of the color blue.
Yes, very much so.
Have you met Megan Fitzpatrick yet?
I have not.
No. Well, you need to meet her. She's always after the perfect blue.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, but that is so cool. Yeah, like I said, your work is outstanding. It's interesting. Now, do you teach doing any of that type of work to your students there, or is that?
I guess not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I try to keep those things separate. Maybe. I think because of the work that I do with the fabric is actually done out in nature. So yeah, it would be hard to always take people out there to do it, but then bringing you back in to make something from it. Yeah, but I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but right now I can't think of anything.
All right. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Well, so what else do you like to do outside of woodworking?
I definitely, just being outside is always my go-to. I still teach photography, so I love being outside and taking photographs of nature and just being a part of it. Artists in residencies, I try to take advantage of those during the summer. So that's something where I'm either doing the photography work or also making work with the silk and the fabric and the technique that I have being outside, just enjoying nature. Yeah.
Nice. Well, how long have you been into photography?
I want to say at least heavily involved in it, and probably about the past 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask brand of camera body?
A Sony.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're a Sony. Okay. I'm a Canon.
So-
Okay. All right.
Sorry to
Okay.
hear that.
Yeah.
No
We
beats.
Our students we have Sony cameras here too. So it's
Mhm.
just, yeah.
They're very good. Nothing against them at all.
Yeah.
And are you taking all the pictures of the students' projects and stuff like that?
I am. Some of those actually I teach them how to do that.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Yes.
very cool.
Yeah.
think
So do you have
that's-
students in both classes? And
Yeah. And we
Nice.
have one of those the photography boxes with the nice lighting. So,
Mhm.
or I'm having them take the pieces outside and just really set them up in, a good way of shooting. So I used to have them start their own Instagram account specifically for their art.
Oh, wow.
But we're trying to do away with always having our phones out at school
Right.
So I guess 2 years ago, I decided if they're going to do anything, they're making websites. So I don't want them to always be on social media. So, I've actually appreciated that change for myself as well. So you use it when you have to, and you're not always going to it to do something when you don't know what to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, where can folks find you on the interwebs? What a segue. What a segue.
Oh, it's good. I know. I do have an Instagram. It's Diane.Deery is my Instagram. And then my website is Diane Deery, Deery. And then you can also, the Hill School has a section for the visual arts, and you can find me there as well and what the students are working on.
Fantastic. And we'll have links to all that on the in the show notes. So with that, let's move on to our fortnightly beer choices. So I have nothing exciting. I'm just drinking Guinness. So that's it for me. Jeff, what do you got?
He's in the car.
Just drinking and driving, man. What do you?
Yeah. I have some fresh brewed the room coffee there.
Oh, fantastic. That's
Yeah.
got to be top notch there.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
okay.
sure.
Yeah.
Brian, hopefully you can save us all.
Excuse me. I am drinking. It's called Hurricane. It's a double IPA from Treehouse Brewing in Massachusetts. First time I've had it. I like it. So if you were up in the Northeast, or if you, like me, if you have a neighbor who is traveling back from business and stops there, grab it. It's very good.
I think I've actually seen that down here in a couple of places.
Really?
Treehouse Brewing.
Treehouse?
I believe.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
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 Okay.
Grab,
All
if
right.
you see it, just buy it.
Just
It's
buy
not
it?
going to be cheap. Just buy it,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking I saw that.
Why have we not established a little beer exchange between
I don't
all of
know.
us?
Oh, yeah. Woodworking beer exchange. Yeah.
Well, because Sean, you would just send us all Miller Lite.
No, I would find better things. I'd find there's a couple local places that I don't always get, but I would send you those.
Okay.
Anyway, not
But Sean,
to-
what are you drinking?
Well, the standard beer in my house is Miller Lite. Thank you, Kyle. It's exactly what I'm drinking. Diane, you're in school, so I can't imagine any alcoholic beverage. But what is your
No.
favorite libation?
Honestly, I've been taking a break.
Good
So
for you.
yeah, I just at night it's just some hot sort of, no caffeine kind of drink, some kind of tea or water. And
Oh,
that's
okay,
fine
cool.
with me. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
That's- yes. Sounds like my wife. That's what she usually has. So. Well, with that, let's move on to some feedback. So who do we have to thank this week?
All right. So we're looking back at episode 584 when our buddy Wilbur Payne came back on the show. A couple of notes here. First one is from a good friend of the show, Benjamin Allen Furniture. It says, "Excellent episode, guys," with an exclamation point. And then we got a direct message from Barton Woodworking and Sawmill, otherwise known as Burn Woodworking on Instagram. "Thank you for keeping me entertained during countless hours of woodworking and farming." So
Can we get him on the podcast?
We might.
yeah, we might, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So if you, dear listener, would like to leave us some feedback and get yourself on the show, the best way to do it is probably to leave us a comment on the MWA podcast Instagram. You can also, if you feel so inclined, to message us directly. And if you could give us a 5-star rating on your iPod player of choice, it would help get the show in front of other people.
And that just about wraps it up for this show. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the show on the podcatcher of your choice. Just search for the Modern Woodworkers Association. And while you're there, please leave us a review. You can follow us on Instagram at MWA_podcast. And if you'd like to support the podcast, go over to patreon.com/MWA podcast. But the best thing you can do is tell a friend. Word of mouth goes a long way in sharing our discussion.